Hello, and welcome to another episode of Excuse the Beard. I was going to do this episode about something else, which you'll now see in a forthcoming episode, but I thought I would make this episode about Mr. Jagdish Khattar, the recently departed former managing director of Maruti Suzuki India. Mr. Khattar was very generous with his time and he was very patient with me when I was a young reporter, teaching me a lot of things about the Indian automotive industry and how manufacturing and sales and marketing worked. He was also, in my opinion and the opinion of many other automotive writers in India, the man who saved Maruti. Watch this video to learn some more about Mr. Khattar and the Indian automotive market in the late 90s and early 2000s. Mr. Khattar, who did his education from New Delhi St. Stephen's College, went on to join the Indian Administrative Services as an officer from the Uttar Pradesh cadre. Between 1978 and 1983, he served as the director of the Tea Board of India based in London. It is here that he once told me that he acquired his knack for marketing. In 1983, he used players from the Indian cricket team playing at the 1983 World Cup to help market Indian tea, which was then facing a lot of challenge from teas from Kenya and Sri Lanka. Of course, India went on to win the 1983 World Cup, which of course started the cricketing bonanza in the subcontinent, and the Tea Board's campaign was a massive success. Maruti in those days was a joint venture between the Government of India and Suzuki Motor Corporation of Japan, and Jagdish Khattar was seconded as Director Marketing in Maruti in 1993 as a nominee of the Government of India. In the 1990s, a variety of factors had caused relations between the two joint venture partners to hit rock bottom. The final straw for Suzuki was the tenure of Government of India appointed Managing Director RSSLN Bhaskarudu. He was forced out of office in August 1999 and Jagdish Khattar was appointed in his place. These were turbulent times for Maruti Suzuki. A host of new competition had emerged and Maruti was seen as not keeping up with the Joneses, particularly the Koreans, Daewoo and Hyundai. Khattar got to work immediately. He managed to convince Suzuki to launch some new products so as to be able to compete with the Koreans. The Maruti WagonR and the Maruti Alto were the result. Both of these cars became bestsellers and allowed Maruti to retain its market share, even though new competition continued to enter the Indian market. He also went on a drive to improve manufacturing processes using the Six Sigma technique. Cutting costs and rationalizing Maruti's dealer network were other parts of his program to improve the car maker so as to be able to compete, indeed dominate the rest of the market. He had a major role to play in the development and production of the Maruti Suzuki Swift, ensuring that Indian engineers got a say in the design and development process, as well as ensuring the development and building of a brand new plant at Manesar, where the Swift would be churned out in unimaginable numbers. In the first few months of the Swift, waiting lists had gone up to over 6 months to get one of those cars. Not everything he touched turned to gold, however. The Zen Estilo, a 4-seat car which he thought would be able to do very well in the market, particularly with ladies, did not work at all. He should also be remembered for Maruti Suzuki's massively successful initial public offering. This was derided by many. Many thought the share at 150 rupees at the time of its offering was overvalued and overpriced. Tell that to the millions of Indians who've made a killing on the share, which at one point of time was trading at 9,000 rupees. And even if they don't own it themselves, it is owned by many major mutual funds. So almost every Indian invested in the markets has a piece of Maruti. Superannuated from the company in December 2007, leaving the company in a much stronger position than where he had found it. In fact, thanks to Mr. Khattar building the foundations, Maruti retains a dominant share of the Indian market today. He said that there were opportunities for him to remain with the company, but he now wanted to do something new. He wanted to be an entrepreneur, and that entrepreneurial project was to be Carnation Auto. Carnation was and remains a good idea. A one stop shop where anybody could come buy, sell, or service any type and any make of vehicle. Unfortunately, the business did not work, not least because some of those in the industry who owed their careers to Mr. Jagdish Khattar started to ignore him. He often lamented this in his later conversations with me and other business journalists. Unfortunately, he was also charged by the Central Bureau of Investigation for defrauding Punjab National Bank of 110 crores in this business. That is an unfair charge simply because businesses can also fail. And those who know him know he tried his best in Carnation. Maybe the idea will work. But we should not forget his contribution to the Indian automotive industry. And I will not forget the kindness and generosity he showed me as a young reporter and later on. He truly is a doyen of the automotive industry in India and he will be missed.